All right, moving on. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Hi, listeners.
What's up, listeners?
What's up, listeners?
What's up, every listener? Our first email this week comes from Vernon. I'm going to choose to believe it's Vernon Reed, guitar player for Living Color.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Vernon Troy?
That's what I was gonna say. Vern
man
Troyer
from Austin Powers.
What's the little man? What are you? I'm sorry.
I actually don't know
that.
the technical term for him because he's not
Technical.
technical.
Vernon emailed us at the email address gamescoop@ign, just like
small.
you can.
Yeah.
Vernon says, even though I am not Big Tony style, I hope you will give some consideration to my question. I, for one, am looking forward to buying Dark Souls 3 on its release date. 1, because it looks like a great game. And 2, I'm excited to experience it at a time when the number of people playing it is at its maximum.
Yeah.
When people talk about the value of games, one of the considerations that I do not hear mentioned much outside of multiplayer-only games is the value of playing something when there is a large, active community surrounding it. Both those who are playing it and also those talking about it online in discussion groups, YouTube, etc. Sometimes when I play a game, even if it's just a few years old, I feel like a man on an island. Does that desire to play something at the height of its popularity factor into whether or not you all buy a game at full price when it is new, or am I just a sucker spending my hard-earned cash just for the sake of not feeling left out? You guys are the best. Thanks for all the great hours of entertainment.
So, I mean, this is a completely biased question for us specifically because we have to be part of the conversation as it's happening.
It's part of our job.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But take off your gaming media spectacles and just think of yourself as just when you're just a gamer.
Yeah.
You still feel the need, like, oh, I got to play the hottest game right now.
The first thing I would say
talk about it.
Yep,
It's just like, God, I know Batman v Superman is going to be bad, but I want to be part of the conversation, so let's go see it.
Totally, yeah. Where you
movie's
want to
not
see
bad.
it because it's part of the zeitgeist, right?
Yeah.
I skipped it.
You skipped it?
Yep.
Me too.
You're missing out.
Interesting.
You're both missing out.
That's the funniest movie of the year. I think it's. I totally understand it. Like it's different because like video games are incredibly expensive compared to seeing a movie for $10 or $8 or $5 matinee or whatever. Like it's $60 to play Dark Souls. You could rent it from like one of those things in the supermarket or whatever.
Redbox.
Gamefly.
Gamefly, yeah.
Gamefly.
But even then, like you're gonna spend a couple bucks and you're gonna take it back and bring it back in. I think there's something cool to be like. I see all these Facebook communities popping up. Like the Podcast Beyond just launched one for this game, and people are fighting bosses at the same time and giving each other tips. And there's something really cool about that. That being said, there's also something really cool about coming back 6 months later and seeing an entire wiki filled out and just being like, anything I could possibly need is already here.
Yeah.
You know,
We
thanks to people like
were
Jared.
playing The Witness early before it came out, and like we got stuck, and like that was it. There was no like there was no option. So like that's something when you have our job. But no, I mean, Vernon, I would say first of all, you're not a sucker at all because you said yourself that you get enjoyment out of it.
That's true, yeah.
Like, so you're spending $60 now and like versus $30, you know, whenever in 6 months or 12 months. And you have to decide, like, is it worth $30 to me to be able to go on a really, really active subreddit or, you know, NeoGAF topic or, you know, see all the IGN news posts about something, you know, and be right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I totally think that that's probably worth $30, but that's, you know, that's something that you can determine for yourself.
I do generally recommend that you wait around at least for the reviews. They usually come out around the same time, and I'm a big fan of letting professional reviewers tell me about a game before I go spend a lot of money on it. I don't necessarily let them tell me whether or not I'm going to buy it, but their opinions matter. And read the review. Just look at the score, read the review, see if this is a game like, oh, based on what they said, based on this person, this person.
What about just
That's not
scrolling
really-
down to the pros and cons and just reading those?
And just looking at the score.
Don't do that, please, ever,
No,
please.
that's not really what he's not really asking about. Like, should he wait for reviews?
No, but I say, so wait for the review. Even if you want to be part of the conversation, even if the pre-order, you want to be there opening night when everybody else is jumping it, please wait to read the review, then go buy the game. If there's a tiny pre-order bonus, you'll miss out on that, but the odds are that you're going to be more confident in the decision you made at that.
What I will say, one of the things that bothers me about kids these days, these younger gamers, is that they think they can be part of the conversation. Some of them think they can be part of the conversation if they've just like watched some Let's Plays on YouTube. Even if they haven't played the game, like, get out of here with that. You haven't played the game, you aren't part of the conversation.
I very much, I'm on Vernon's side on this one. That's actually why I love Reddit a lot as a platform, because my Reddit looks different than probably anyone else's Reddit because I've customized it and tailored it. And you can subscribe to specific subreddits and unsubscribe from others, and you only see the stuff that you choose to see. So it's literally like a feed of like what Justin's into. Like when I was playing a lot of Diablo 3, I'm like subscribed to this, and this. And then when I was like, I'm kind of over that game, they're gone. Like they just disappeared. So for a while it was The Witness, and I was really into that and like reading all up on that community. And like, so it's like The Witness and board games and like all the stuff that I'm into.
Brian mentioned Discovery earlier. On my Twitter feed, similar to your Reddit thing, looked, the night that Dark Souls 3 came out, it was just people with screenshots of countdowns and, stories of triumph until late into the night.
Right.
But then moving on into that process of discovery, yes, it's fun to go back when everything's discovered or when most things are, but it's also fun to watch them as they're being discovered over that first few days. Brennan was just showing me that they found the Solaris armor or the Solar armor, pardon me, in Dark Souls 3 and how to get it. It's like, that's really cool, and it's just emerging right now.
So I do think like spoiler culture plays into it as well. Like there is that sort of necessity to see something. Like with Force Awakens, I went into media blackout for 4 days before. I don't mean media blackout. I mean I went into internet blackout.
You blacked out.
Like I hit myself with a large cinder block until I couldn't see. I froze myself. So like I think that's a big part of it now. Like we mentioned one of the bosses on one of the show. I think it was on Beyond the other day, and I'm sure someone's going to be upset that we did that, even though we just made a vague reference to what a character looked like. Because that's like, you can be scrolling through Twitter and be like, oh, it's the main boss of Dark Souls 3. Oops. Like, so I think part of it now too is sort of like, I have to see something before it's ruined for me. There's also sort of spikes that happen not because of release dates originally, but because of stuff that happens later on. Steam sales, PlayStation Plus, games with gold. These are kind of big movements that get entire armies of people playing something for the first time. Sometimes like a month or even a year after it's out. Like something will like there was somebody put together that video of sad Ben Affleck the other day. And they used that song "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend." And did you guys see it? Like it cracked the top 10 on the Billboard charts.
That's awesome.
Sounds of Silence?
That song that's like 50 years old.
That's a great song.
Yeah, but it's like,
And to be fair, it's not that hard to like a certain show that you and I are part of tops the Billboard charts somehow.
Totally.
You don't really need to sell that many copies these days to be on Billboard.
But I think it's kind of interesting that like sometimes, and I remember like PewDiePie did a Let's Play of like, I think it was like Skate 2 or something like that, and it like spiked in European sales. Like,
I mean, he made Flappy Bird too, but
I mean, exactly. So I think there are things that happen that are movements outside of just the original launch day, where you can be part of like a big sweeping conversation again. It doesn't necessarily have to happen in that first window, but I think spoilers become a big part of it, and like subreddits and message boards and all that kind of stuff. It's a big conversation.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I also understand that hunger to be, it's like, guys, I'm watching season 2 of Lost. I really don't know if he's gonna push that button or not. And people are like no one wants to talk to you about it. Like if you're onto something late, like I watched True Detective like a year late, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk to this about somebody, and Goldfarb's like, dude, I told you a year ago to watch that show. And then it was too late. Like I missed the window.
But on the other hand, you do get the time travel aspect from that. I mean, and that playing it early doesn't mutually exclude you from going back. I do recommend you go back. There's a thing where you can look up at the night sky and look at the stars, and you're seeing them, from thousands to millions of years ago, because it takes the light that long to get here. You're actually traveling through time when you do that. Really cool.
Yeah, we're traveling through time right now.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We're traveling through time in a way unconventional, a different way. With games and really media in general, you can do the same thing. And I think that's a really neat way, going back and looking at something with a few years of context under your belt, with seeing what came from it since, and then go back and re-experiencing. Sometimes it takes away. Sometimes it makes you aware of just how influential and brilliant something was when you didn't realize it at the time. Like, wow, this really changed something, or man, this holds up. And that's a beautiful feeling.
Turns out Otogi on the original Xbox started everything. That's the one. If you just went back and gave it a shot, you'd see.
Otogi?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of all?
I mean, the reality is you could save thousands of dollars a year by not being there on day one.
I wanted to do the math on like, what if you time shifted 12 months?
Yeah.
Like I've thought about this as a
If you
feature
just
for
waited
a
for
long
like the
time.
Game of the Year edition, that's like $40.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever, like what came out 12 months ago this month, or we're almost 12 months from Batman Arkham City, and what does that game cost now? $20? Like,
I mean,
how
we were
much
talking
money
about
would you
Battlefront.
save?
GameFly was having a sale on it yesterday for $19.95.
Yeah,
It's
like how much money would you save by just time shifting all your media by a year?
I am a cheapskate, and I do that a lot, even working here.
Sure.
I just wait. Because money's valuable, and $60 and $20, that's a big difference.
Yeah, see, I buy the game for $60 and just don't play it. That's what I do.
It's a good call.
I've had I don't know if we need to move on. I had an idea. I've had an idea for a startup, for a company for a long time, or maybe a service on IGN. I don't know.
Is this Playdia again?
No, it's not. That was what was that called?
Oh, that was
The gamer social network thing.
yeah, well, Playdia. That was your gamer friend.
It was, it had a different name than that. I don't remember what it was.
thought it was Playdia.
Anyway, this was like, people do like book clubs. I want it to be an online book club like, hey everybody, let's agree to rewatch Lost, but we're going to agree to watch it at this pace, and we're going to start on this date. And then, like, let's say you're going to start a month from now. You know, on May 1st, we're going to start rewatching Lost, and you know, you'll get a certain number of people, 10 or 50 or 100 people. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Either watch something for the first time or rewatch something, you know, and then you can come back and share and discuss and sort of travel through it. And so people would like make, it's almost like a message board. Like you would make, here's what we're going to watch, and here's like the time horizon that we're going to watch it on. It's friendly to newcomers, it's friendly to people that are rewatching. And then if you're looking like, I've never watched The West Wing, I would find some West Wing group that was about to start and like enjoy the show with them.
The problem is because
People would be dicks.
yeah, human beings are inherently chaotic, terrible monsters.
we're definitely-
People would show up and spoil every episode. And
But maybe you have like a reputation system or something that like, you know, people can be muted or whatever. if
I like
they're
that.
being
I like
little-
that.
big old
I mean,
jerks.
that's why I do like stuff like PlayStation Plus, because it gives people an opportunity to play, to have a conversation about something at the same time outside of the release date. But games are weird because they push back on you. Like games.
Or they go offline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I can sit and watch The West Wing and turn it on, and it's going. The only thing that will happen is I'll probably fall asleep. But when I try to play a video game, like I'm gonna die a bunch, and I might get frustrated, and you might be on the next level when I'm still on the last one.
Stuck in one place. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does happen.